I've done a number of pictures outside of Bradford in around the moors. This morning we were at the Cow and Calf rock formation outside Ilkley, which is kind of a popular destination for people heading out of the city at the weekend. I'm looking for the landscape first and then trying to find the interaction with the people. So here, this for me is probably the most interesting element of this structure, because you've got the relationship between the rock formation, the path which you can see is well worn, so it's a popular place for people, and in the distance you've got Ilkley and the moor in on the horizon. So that in one photograph you've kind of got a number of interesting elements. What's often frustrating is that you can see a picture that could happen, but it's not actually happening at the moment. So I imagine, on a summer's day, this place would be packed, and you'd have people picnicking, you'd have kids climbing on the rocks, you'd have people, walking in along the path. It would be a kind of quite a lively scene, whereas today there's nobody here. So. BD3 United is a kids football club. BD3 is quite a deprived area of Bradford, a predominantly Asian community, and they train with a view overlooking the city, so it's kind of really interesting backdrop of the football amongst the setting of the Bradford cityscape. The content of the pictures in some ways was more interesting because BD3 being predominantly Pakistani kids and the Cavalry United being all kind of white, slightly more middle-class area, so that was quite interesting. The weather is certainly a challenge when you're using this camera, because I need a very large depth of field, so that means a very small aperture, which therefore means a slower shutter speed. Now, if you haven't got much light and you're using a very low shutter speed and there's kids playing football, they're just going to be this blurred mess. So you want to be able to capture some kind of action happening. So, in this scenario, I need a bit more light than I've currently got at the moment, so there's no point really taking a picture. It's kind of almost part of being English, talking about the weather, so I wanted to actually embrace the weather and actually use it in the pictures. So a lot of the pictures are quite cool, or I've used particular light at dusk, or kind of clouds, very heavy clouds in some of the pictures, and actually try and use that as an important part of the picture. Because at the end of the day, this is a series of outdoor landscapes, and so it needed to be part of the element of the picture. The Sunday League football at Carbottom Rec Stadium, brilliant name for a football pitch. That was good because you're able to see a bit more of Bradford. It was a small housing estate with this pitch. And the pitch was great because it was, it wasn't flat, it was just this undulating kind of grass patch, with kind of mud in the middle, with these young men charging about in the mud, shouting obscenities. But it kind of was an interesting kind of backdrop. And having, particularly getting the elevation again from the bridge, being able to see some of the streets, the cars parked around, just kind of up on the curb. Then in the distance you had Bradford backdrop. So just in terms of all the little elements, it was good.